Was the world created at the same time as the angels? I would say that this question that legitimately arises, seems to mix two researches. A scientific research that can really look at the reason alone, the origin of the world, and secondly a truly theological research, because the angels, the existence of these pure minds, it is inaccessible to the experience. So there is an article of faith, of revelation, which says that God, before creating men, created purely spiritual beings, who have no body, high-level engineers, who participated in the organization of the world. Well, then, to answer such a question, which mixes domains only apparently because, as St. Thomas says, it is God who has created our reason, it is also God who gives revelation. So the truth, it must be able to join, and so we can collaborate different disciplines. Well, there is in this case a dogmatic landmark of the Church, at the Fourth Lateran Council, which assures us that God has at the same time created the material world and the spiritual creatures called the angels. This is said textually, and it is in the domain of the magisterium where the Church commits her incompetence. It's a very practical thing when there are such dogmatic references, because it allows you to answer. Augustine already affirmed it when he read the text of Genesis at the beginning. God says that the light is and the light was. God separated the light from the darkness. Well, he says, this text talks about two things. He talks about the creation of the world, in the form of light, and he also speaks, hidden under the image of light, the creation of angels and their separation according to a particular test, in those who have chosen God and those who have rebelled against God, which is called darkness. Only Saint Augustine, in his day, as a doctor of the Church, gave it as an opinion. But now, since the Fourth Lateran Council, one is sure when one is believing that it is true. Now that it is the theological reason for the fact that the two have created together. Well, she is simple. It is true that God creates the angels for themselves as His children. He gives them truly a personal destiny, to see Him face to face. He preaches the gospel to them. But He also gives them a mission. It means that these angels will have the precise role, to structure, with the true freedom of friend of God, this world, this matter, to organize it like engineers, to prepare a receptacle for the masterpiece that will arrive later, the man and the woman. So we can say that God likes to collaborate. He could do it Himself. He can do everything Himself. He is all-powerful. But this is not true. The very nature of God is the principle of subsidiarity. That means, when He can delegate, He delegates to His friends. And that is also why we Catholics, we love to pray to saints and angels, not because they are God but because God gives them, truly all power over His heart. They are not mere servants, they are friends, and therefore they take initiatives for us. It is the principle of subsidiarity.